welcome back to the channel. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and roll your notifications to all so you don't miss any of the demonic content. In The Exorcist, the source of Regan's possession is the Ouija board. Now, you might be familiar with the notion that Ouija boards can accidentally conjure up demons. By now, it's a staple of horror films that deal with the dead and the demonic. But how is it that we came to believe that a product originally billed as a family game somehow conjured devils from hell itself? The answer lies in the spiritualist movement of the 1800s. On November 14th, 1849, the Fox sisters demonstrated their supposed ability to communicate with the dead. This was the start of seances, spirit rappings, and eventually, Ouija boards. Shortly thereafter, America was gripped with an intense desire to speak with the dead, and spiritualism was born. Spiritualism is, loosely defined, an idea that personality continues to exist after bodily death, and that humankind can both communicate with and exercise the spiritual powers of the dead. At its height, approximately 6 million people in the United States held spiritualist views. This did not sit well with some conservative American Christians. An immediate backlash began, a backlash that I have argued in Demons in the USA can be seen as both a literary subgenre and one which has 4 distinct traits. The anti-spiritualist movement had been born. I define the 4 traits of the anti-spiritualist demonology as the gateway, deviant behavior, medical decline, and political ramifications. The first trait, the gateway, indicated that the demonic would need to be invited in. Gone was the saints' lives trope of demon molesting would-be holy men and women, or the idea that others could sick demons on their opponents with magic. Now, demons could accept an invitation to possess someone, even if the person wasn't aware they were offering that invitation. Attempts to consort with the dead, seances, talking tables, Ouija boards, mediumship, etc., were of primary importance here to anti-spiritualists, but eventually drugs, alcohol, non-Christian beliefs, and a host of other things would begin to function as such invitations as well. Once the demon was inside of someone, they started a case of gradual possession. Once more, this was distinctly different than other accounts of the demonic that we see historically, where over-the-top indications of demonic behavior are often the first things we hear of. The anti-spiritualists instead look for deviant behavior, indicators that people were acting abnormally or against Christian values as evidence of a transformation of behavior via demonic suggestion. Abolitionism and women's suffrage was often painted with a demonic brush, and the free love movement was a favorite target of anti-spiritualists as well. Little by little, the demons would fasten more and more of their hooks within the brains of the afflicted. Often this was painted in a neurological manner, with the demons commandeering the nervous system and the electrical impulses therein to work greater and greater control. Medical decline was the inevitable result of such tampering with the brain, and this decline could take the form of institutionalization or even eventual death. Anti-spiritualists depicted mental institutions as overflowing with former mediums who had had their nervous systems pulverized by the demons they had unknowingly hosted. Of course, in a democracy, problems don't just end with individuals. Political ramifications would result from too many individuals being guided by devils, and the anti-spiritualists tended to blame movements such as Lincoln's election and the eventual Civil War on spiritualists and their demonic allies. These ideas were popular, and they led to a conspiratorial demonology that was unique to modernity. Authors of the 20th century, such as Merrill Unger, Kurt Koch, and the Hammonds, would all readily engage these ideas in their works, reinforcing and further disseminating these notions across the United States. By the time that Blatty and Friedkin got their hands on them, there was no need to explain why Regan's seemingly innocent dabbling with the Ouija board would lead to her deviant behavior and gradual medical decline. Malachi Martin eagerly picked up anti-spiritualist notions as well as the framework of The Exorcist to craft Hostage to the Devil. Through works like these and other authors, the paradigm would eventually come to influence the satanic panic, and through the panic, many of the demonological imaginings of the late 20th and 21st centuries. For many Americans, demons are no longer a rare phenomenon. They are literally around us at all times and in all places. One has to be cautious of what one reads, watches, listens to, the objects one has in their homes. Almost anything could be an invitation for the demonic to enter one's life, and most don't even know that this is a significant oddity in the 2 millennia of Christian demonology, one that began in the last 2 centuries in the United States.